folks, Puffin here. I had a really good experience today I wanted to share with you, thanks partly to YouTube, on August 26th, 2021. It was kind of the middle of a lot of tumultuous stuff with the news coming out about the attacks in Afghanistan at the end of the war there. But I was watching a scheduled talk of the Beloved Community, hosted by Dr. West and Dr. King. And I didn't get to see the whole thing because my phone went out of battery, but their first guest, I got to see the entire interview with Ambassador Andrew Young, or Uncle Andy, as they called him. And it was just really cool. It was cool to see what he had to say. It was very just an invigorating conversation just to be part of. I left comments, but I don't know if anybody saw my comments in the chat. They didn't respond to the chat, but it was an invigorating conversation to hear, and I would definitely recommend checking out the Beloved Community and watching their videos. But Andrew Young was reminiscing about the beginning of the Civil Rights Movement and the March on Washington and Dr. King's speech. And I guess it's the anniversary of that today. I'm not entirely sure, but I saw in Fortnite today they had Dr. King's speech in a virtual mall on Washington. It was really cool. I don't know if they always do stuff like that, or I'd never seen anything like that before in that game. So I don't play that game much, but I just kind of oversaw it. But it was cool. And it was nice to hear Andrew Young talking about reminiscing on those times. And it reminded me of something I heard on the radio recently with Jesse Jackson. Well, it wasn't Jesse Jackson, but it was someone talking to Jesse Jackson and having said he was amazed at the hundreds of people who participated in a certain march. And Jesse Jackson's response was, the hundreds? No, there was a couple dozen of us, or there was a dozen of us. And it makes you think how many people it takes to start some change that lasts, that spreads around the world, and change that lasts generations and eternally. It kind of keeps going. I also feel like there's been this change and this struggle that we've been part of for so long. And I feel like there's an end to that struggle, that there is a good life. It was interesting because when they introduced the conversation today, she said, it's not a utopian dream, it's an achievable dream of this, of harmony between humanity. And to me, it's like, well, that is a utopian dream, and utopian is not a bad word, and it's not unachievable. Where I come from, Oz, the future, there's no money, there's no war. That's kind of the secret. That's how they always explain it in the books by L. Frank Baum. The reason it's so great here, the reason we all love and take care of each other, is because there's no money and there's no war. Is that hard to achieve? I mean, honestly, when you think about it now, you can imagine that as being not very far off, like right around the corner. And the more we do imagine it and envision what that can be like and start the processes of making things that way, making things free, making things shared in common, and the sooner we'll get there, and just removing war, just ending it. And I think we've got a big lesson that it's obsolete, it doesn't work. The whole process, the last two big wars by the biggest warist country in the world ever, haven't worked. Afghanistan and Iraq. And it's just time to cut out the whole process and repurpose the military to green energy conversion and rescue squad, because we need rescue squads and we need green energy conversion in ways that take a huge apparatus of great organization to do. So we can repurpose our military in America and show everybody else, hey, this is what we're going to be doing with this organization now. Set that standard. Once other people follow and say, hey, we don't want to waste any more resources on destructive things, we can all work together to building a great world. Thanks, and have a great day. Oh, and thank you, Andrew Young, for Ambassador Andrew Young, Uncle Andy, for speaking to us, telling us stuff, and their other guests that even though I missed them. Thank you all for appearing, and thank you to the Beloved Community at large for making that possible. I'll tune in again soon, because it was really great to to hear. And like I said, it's just a great energy to be part of. So I hope others will find out about that and tune in as well. Thank you.